It's come to my attention that I may not have done that good a job of explaining what's going on with this CoryVille IGB. So the IGB is a little bit like an IGA, just not as good. So the idea is that you read through the information that you've been given here, and then from there you would then go and model the situation. So you need to specify and justify the abstract data types you use for this, and then use Python, simulate the shopping experience, kind of like what you did for the Tower of Hanoi. Now, I understand like I said, I may not have explained it enough, and that's fair enough. It's the first time we've had to do this. So what I've got another task here that I've used in the past, and I'm going to go through that. Let's see, so this is the CoryVille Rural Hospital. Rural town of CoryVille has a small hospital serving townspeople. Since it's a small hospital, there is limited space and facilities available. The operations of its emergency department can be modelled using various abstract data types. When a patient arrives, they need to be seen by a triage nurse first. If there is more than one patient to see the triage nurse, they need to wait in line. Triage nurse assesses the patient based on their symptoms and assigns them various levels of urgency. Once seen by the triage nurse, the patients make their way to the waiting room. When a bed becomes available, the most urgent patient in the waiting room can be admitted to the hospital. Since the hospital has limited resources, there is only enough room for 10 people to wait and use a triage nurse. Once in the waiting room, as many patients can wait there as the hospital needs. Unfortunately, the hospital only has 5 beds though. Specify and justify ADTs. And using Python to simulate the shopping experience. That shouldn't be shopping experience, that should be the hospital experience of the patients. Sorry about that. I've just taken the I've just copied and pasted from your activity. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm going to show you something else. So before I do that, let's have a look. Patient arrives, they see a triage nurse first. If there's more than one patient to see the triage nurse, they need to wait in line. So the fact that there is a triage nurse and only one patient can see it, that's implying that only one patient can see the triage nurse. I will say here, I'm going to say that triage nurse is a variable. So a patient comes into the triage nurse. From there, before they do that, they have to wait in line. So I'm going to say, and it says that triage nurse, they need to wait in line. So if they get to the triage nurse and there's more than one person, they have to wait in line. So I'm going to make a triage line. That is a list because it can hold many different, no, that's not a list, that is a queue. Because you can hold many people and it's first come, first served basis. After the after they've been triaged, they go off. Once they're by the triage, patients make their way to the waiting room. So they go to the waiting room based on the most urgent, based on urgency. So they go to the waiting room. Once they get to the waiting room, it's based on urgency. So because of that, what we say is waiting room is a priority queue. Now, we have not seen priority queues yet. I haven't gone through that with you. I wasn't planning on it because the CoryVille IGB doesn't use priority queues, but I've got one here ready to go. So I'm going to drag, let's see, does my dragging work? Cool, all right. So this is my class priority queue. So we can check if it's empty. We can enqueue items to the priority queue. I'll explain that in a few minutes. We dequeue items, so it dequeues whatever is at the head, just like a normal priority queue. Enqueuing is a bit different. We return the size if we want. We can check what is at the front of the PQ, and then we can also check the contents of the priority queue. So to use it, just like the queue from, just like the queue from the other day, we have my PQ becomes priority queue. Then what I'm doing is when I enqueue to the priority queue, I use enqueue and I put in whatever it is that I'm enqueuing. So I'm enqueuing the letter A. This could be a number, but it's a string here, and I'm giving it a priority of 2. What this is a priority queue. It's called a minimum priority queue or a min priority queue. That means that the thing with the lowest number, the lowest priority, is the most important. So I'm then printing the contents of the queue. I am enqueuing B with a priority of 1. I'm enqueuing C with a priority of 4. I'm enqueuing D with a priority of 3. I'm then checking what is at the head of the queue. I am dequeuing, and then I'm printing, I'm printing the queue again. So to see that in action, let's go to run module. It's going to open another window. Yes, it has. And I'll move that over to here so you can see what's going on. Okay, so A is the first thing that gets enqueued. It's the only thing there. Then B is enqueued with priority 1. So B goes to the front of the queue. C is in queue with priority 4, so it goes to the back of the queue because it's the least important. D comes along with a priority 3. 3 is less than 4, so D goes ahead of C. We then dequeue the front of the queue, and from there we dequeue the front of the queue, and because of that we don't have B anymore. We have it starts with A. That's the way we go about making a priority queue. So I'm going to stop this video. This is going to be CoryVille Rural Hospital Part 1, and I'll provide the code to you, and you can play around with this so you get your head around what's going on. How do I stop recording? Stop.